Crossfire is made possible by our good friends at ASAP General Stores and Lucille's Roadhouse. Want to welcome in from the Southwest Air and Heat Hotline, Senate Minority Leader Julia Kirt. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning. Hi, everybody.
And also, we have Speaker Pro Tem of the Oklahoma House of Representatives, Anthony Moore, back with us.
Hey, good morning. Glad to be back.
Yeah, the gang's all here again. How's the week been?
Good for me. I mean, I've just been adjusting post-family trip and, trying to remember what we do day to day when we're not following all the Capitol meetings. How to keep things moving along, right?
Absolutely. Anthony, what about you? Any interim studies that you've been doing lately, or?
No, I've been doing interim legal work. I had 7 appointments at the law firm yesterday. It's been a busy few weeks, but I'm glad to be at home and able to do it. It's kind of been nice. Honestly, I really have enjoyed kind of what normal is like again.
Yeah, sometimes hard to believe that you've got a regular job, right, when the legislature is supposed to be a part-time job, but it takes up so much of you guys' time, and we appreciate both of you serving. Well, once again, I got to host a little political forum up in Watonga last night, and it was the final time that Rick Cook and Jessica Weingart got a chance to answer questions from the public. Cannot believe the primary runoff is coming up on the 25th. And I know both of you are watching not only that race, but other races. I guess the polling coming in, Anthony, for the Republican nomination for governor, it's like neck and neck right now.
Yeah, it's very tight. And I think the same thing can be probably said for the Senate race out here. I watched the forum in the Weatherford Forum, and it was really well done. I thought both candidates did a great job. I texted Rick and told him I thought he did the best he's done so far. He just continues to get better and better. I'm really proud of the hard work he's put in. But the governor candidacy is, I think it was at Weatherford actually at a meet and greet that A.G. Drummond said he expects the vote to be, as close as 5,000 or, inside of 5,000 votes one way or the other. So every vote's going to matter.
What about you, Senator Kirt? Is this going to be one of those races where rural voters pick one candidate and urban pick another, or is it just kind of split right down the state on both of these candidates?
That's a great question. I have not seen polling that breaks it out geographically. Like the polling seems to be focused on, types of voters, likelihood of voting, how much they are focused on Trump. I have not seen one that shows geographic breakdown. It sure doesn't seem like it, because it seems like we've got, even though Mazzei's an urban guy, he's got a lot of rural support policy-wise. And then you've got, of course, Drummond being a cattleman. Certainly there's still a lot of support for him in rural Oklahoma. So I'll be curious. I'd be curious what you've heard. I mean, to have it be this close after a year and a half is just wild. I will say, though, that I read that polling, and then later that afternoon I saw an article that was a summary of an academic article about how off primary polling usually is. It said that on average, primary polling is off by 13% on state races. And I was like, oh, okay. I think it's just hard for them to predict exactly who's willing to show up. And this is going to be all about who shows up on August 25th.
And that is such a good point, Senator, because, primary runoffs tend to be one of the lowest voter turnouts. However, since there's maybe so much publicity in the Republican nomination for governor, even state superintendent of schools is getting some push. And then you've got, local races like our Senate race, some others around the state. Do you think maybe we'll have a higher turnout this time?
I've had my heart broken too many times by voters not showing up in Oklahoma. So I have to say, the numbers don't back it up. I think it's very hard for people to get motivated on those state questions. So I bet we see high turnout in the Senate districts where things have been very active, which is just a couple. There's just a couple of runoffs out there in state Senate districts and House districts that are active. Otherwise, I don't see it being a huge turnout. I think some of the things we talked about last week, people are really sick of politics. They're frustrated. And I think the longer this primary is drawn out, the more you have people who are kind of checking out.
Anthony, what do you think about the turnout potentially?
Yeah, I think the turnout will be disappointingly low. I hope that, especially out here in Western Oklahoma, we have, some very big races going on where it is higher turnout. The thing about the Senate race, especially, Custer County is 30+% of that district, and so we need to show out in full force. If we show out in full force like we did, get anywhere even close to our primary numbers, we'll select the next senator. It'll be over based on our vote. And so I really want to encourage people to get out and vote. Their vote matters, every time, but even more in these runoffs. And to Julia's point, a year and a half ago, who would have thought that 5,000 votes, we'd be inside of 5,000 votes. So every vote matters. I don't know how else to say it. It's so important. And I'm hopeful that we can get folks turned out, especially out here in Western Oklahoma. But, what I've seen back kind of to your point, I think my guess would be that it's kind of a regional thing. I think Drummond probably wins Western Oklahoma 60-40, 65-35 range. I think he wins pretty heavily out here. I think Mazie still pulls southeast Oklahoma, and then it's going to kind of be the balancing act everywhere else. So it's kind of weird though, because I don't think it's straight. It's a straight urban rural divide, but everything I've seen has Drummond doing really well out here in Western Oklahoma.
Senator Kurt, who do you think gets the education vote? Just kidding.
Well, I'm in one educators chat, but by no means do I think it represents all the states. So that'll be an interesting one. I was looking at ethics reports because, we do have a transparent process for our finances of campaigns, and some folks have already submitted their reports that have to be filed before the runoff. And Rick Cook continues to loan himself a lot of money. He loaned himself another $150,000. But it looks otherwise like their fundraising's been comparable between Weingart and Rick Cook. So certainly financially, Rick will be able to spend a lot more money to reach voters over the next few weeks. On the governor's race, I'm real curious to see what kind of loans these folks have given themselves, because, of course, this race has been all about personal loans, people who have capital to put up to try to win this race. And it's pretty alarming to me how much now. I think Mazie was up to $11 million in June. I can't imagine what he's done since then. And we know that as Attorney General that Drummond did the same for that race. So I bet we'll see a whole lot more personal loans and that driving these races.
And to that point, Representative Moore, isn't it kind of sad how much money is being spent now to run campaigns, whether it's local Senate race, the governor's race, broken all kinds of records. And let me say, they're not spending that 11 and 14 million on radio in the governor's race. So is it just the TV stations making it all, or are the mailer companies raking it in?
Yeah, I think it's both, and it's incredibly disappointing. This is not the way it was supposed to be. This is not how I want it to be. Obviously, if I look at a perfect scenario, a perfect example is Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell. He had nearly $2 million in his campaign accounts, and probably very easily could have raised another 2 to 3. So you're looking at $4 to $5 million out of raised money, not his own capital, raised money to be in the race. And he couldn't even get in. He couldn't even start. And so $5 million to try to go lead a state where your salary is like $240,000 or something. It seems asinine to me. That's not ever what we intended this to be. And it's really unfortunate. And of course, that's just personal money. That doesn't factor in all the other funds that are coming in from all the different places and sources.
Yeah, not very good ROI on that. Well, and let's continue with that thought. The fact that both gubernatorial candidates are loaning their own campaigns a lot of money, does that mean that people aren't donating to the campaigns as much anymore, or they need that much more? Anthony, we'll start with you this time.
Definitely lots of donors for both of them, for all of the, almost all of the top 5, Republican gubernatorial candidates raised pretty decent amount of money to varying degrees from the outside. But, it's really hard to raise $11 million when you're capped at $3,500 a person. There's only so much money that can be raised at $3,500 a pop in a state of our size. And so, if you want to do all that they're doing, you got to put it in yourself. So you're just not going to be able to raise enough to do all the things that they're wanting to do.
But Senator Kurt, there's a reason why we have these individual limits on donations, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know that we'll see it this campaign cycle, but there was a court case that basically allowed our political parties to spend as much as they can, as much as they want on races. And that means, the word coordinated is really important in there when it comes to politics, because that means they can talk to the campaigns and figure out what they need to be doing together. That's an unlimited well now if they have access to donors. So that's going to change the scenario and how those political parties are involved. For as loud as political parties are, they have not been as big a force on money over the last, since Citizens United allowed, nonprofits to anonymously do campaign work. And is that going to change? Because now you have political parties engaging. I don't know if we'll see any of that in this cycle, but it's an option. And so there's basically not a max now, because somebody could just give to the party for your race.
Does it also prove that the everyman, lower middle class people like me would never have a chance to run? Not that I would, but people in my economic situation would have no chance of running for public office now because of the money that it takes, right?
I think on the governor's side, that might be the case. Although I guess we'll see if the money results in votes. It'll be really fascinating to see if it doesn't. Look at how much is being spent for a vote, and if it's not effective, then people can still get after it. But a whole lot of other races are way more accessible. Senate candidates, many of us are not wealthy folks coming in, and I certainly built my campaign on little bitty donors. I had people who gave me $25 at a time, and that can still work at legislative races, because you can go out and talk to people and do the hard work to show them that you're going to listen to them and actually solve real problems. And so I think there's still a whole lot of things that are accessible. Is it easy? No, by no stretch. By no stretch is it easy.
Your thoughts, Anthony?
Yeah, I think that, you're absolutely right when it comes to the governor's race. Folks, there's not anybody, you can have, not only do you have to have millions, but you have to be willing to just set it on fire to be governor of the state of Oklahoma. And that's just, the thought of that just makes me cringe. And so, no, people like you and me are not running for governor anytime soon. That's what people always joke about. Senator Kurt here, that as soon as you get elected, you've got folks in your district that start calling you governor, or when you're going to run for governor, or blah, blah, blah. And I kind of always have some smart aleck comeback or whatever, just being honorary to people. But, I was like, listen, you got $5 million to set on fire? That's kind of the right comeback now, because it's just dumb. And so it's unfortunate that it's that way. But to the senator's point, there are a lot of local races you can get in. You want to run for mayor, you want to run for city council, you want to run for school board, you don't have to have hardly any money. And you can rate, you don't have to spend any of your own money. You can have a lot of local support make a big difference. Same thing in the house race. My first house race, I didn't spend a whole lot of my own money. I did a pretty good job, raising most of what I spent. And it was very successful. So, I think that and it's not, it's not just the max donors. In those house races, those Senate races, you heard Senator Kirk, I think, the $100, $150, $200 donors, everyone matters, because that's real money in those races. When you're talking $11 million, $150 isn't real money.
Yeah. Wow. Good conversation. We're in the crossfire today with State Senator Julia Kirt and State Representative Anthony Moore. Big thanks to ASAP Energy for sponsoring the show. Back with more right after this.
Start your day the right way with the bold, smooth, and fresh taste of Red Diamond coffee. Now brewing at ASAP General Stores. With bean-to-cup brewing technology, your coffee is made fresh each and every time. Ground and brewed on demand, never sitting in a pot. Whether you love a classic black coffee or a specialty drink like salted caramel macchiato or the Southern Pecan Specialty, every cup is crafted just for you. Grab your favorite brew at any of the ASAP General Stores. Get there ASAP.
Senate District 26 needs a leader who understands our local economy, not someone learning on the job.
Western Oklahoma needs a leader who has a proven record of listening and accomplishing. For over 40 years, I've run successful businesses thanks to the great people here in District 26. Together, we can continue to do great things. Now I'm ready to serve as your next state senator.
For steady leadership and proven results, vote Rick Cook for State Senate.
Paid for by friends of Rick Cook 2026.
The age-old question, what's for dinner? Beef tacos, meatloaf, hamburgers, beef stroganoff, Mongolian beef, chili, beef stew, beef brisket, roast beef, sloppy joes, filet mignon, Philly cheesesteaks. See where I'm going with this? Beef! It's what's for dinner and lunch and even breakfast. From pasture to plate, Market 54 on Highway 54 has all the best cuts of meat to feed those hungry mouths. Sam Elliott, eat your heart out.
Market 54 on Highway 54 is your one-stop meat shop north of Weatherford.
Attention North Fork Electric members. It's that time again. The Cooperative's 87th annual meeting is Saturday, August 15th under the pavilion at the Sayre City Park. Drive-through registration begins at 9 a.m. at the RV Park entrance. This year's grand prize is a John Deere mower, sponsored in part by Western Equipment. The runner-up prize is $1,000 cash, sponsored by R&R Powerline. Be sure to register before 10 a.m. to be eligible for these grand prize drawings. You must be present to win. Bring your family and enjoy live music, delicious barbecue, free swimming, mini golf, and the chance to win a great door prize. For more details, like and follow North Fork Electric on Facebook and Instagram.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners, only 30 calories, just 5 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. That great Pepsi taste with even more to love. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
And all Pepsi products are brought to you locally, as always, by the Nicholson family at Pepsi in Clinton.
Deer Creek Market and Variety in Hydro, the best in friendly small-town customer service, hosting everything from fresh hand-cut steaks, fresh ground beef made in-house, along with fresh fruits and vegetables, grown and made in Oklahoma nuts, candies, salsas, pickles, and more. And don't forget to check out the Variety side, full of unique made-in-Oklahoma gift items. And now, treat yourself to the brand-new ice cream and coffee parlor, your new go-to spot for a sweet scoop or a fresh brew. Shop Deer Creek Market and Variety in Hydro.
We're back in the crossfire today with Senate Minority Leader Julia Kirt, and we also have Speaker Pro Tem of the Oklahoma House of Representatives, Anthony Moore. Senator, we got word this week that Health Choice raising their insurance rates about 18%. That's where teachers and most of our state employees get their health insurance. The state's going to have to foot the bill for that, basically, aren't they, for state employees?
Yeah, this is really a heavy blow for a whole lot of people, because you're talking about educators, you're talking about a whole lot of state employees are on Health Choice, and not across the state. Health Choice is our self-funded plan. This is our state-funded plan, kind of like companies do. And it's supposed to be about cost containment. So it's pretty alarming to see an 18% increase. What we'll see is the state itself with taxpayer money will have to pick up the cost for the employees, and then the employee is going to be picking up the cost for their dependents and their spouse who are on the plan. I mean, that's going to be a heavy blow. What we're hearing from educators is it's going to more than eat up their $2,000 increase that they were given this year in salary. So, I mean, I need to go back and read the minutes from the meeting and try to understand, because a couple of years ago, we did a big study through the Legislative Office of Fiscal Transparency about this and found that it was running fairly efficiently and doing a pretty good job, except for holding a lot of money. I think the folks running it were worrying about, big expenses coming in. But how did we see this big of a jump? We should see less of a jump than private insurance, because that's, who's running it is supposed to be focused on not the bottom line, but on the well-being of the employees. So I'm real anxious about how this is going to play out over the next couple of months, because it'll really impact the budget, but it's going to impact our families even more.
Yeah, Health Choice joining Blue Cross Blue Shield, which has screwed me for the last 15, 20 years. And Anthony, doesn't this all come down to Obama just screwing everything up? It's all his fault, isn't it?
Yeah. You didn't want to ask Julia that question. I really am disappointed in that.
I see that you avoided me.
Julia, why don't you pop back at that? Go ahead. I'm going to toss it to you. Watch Todd run.
The insurance companies have told us directly, along with the hospitals who are at risk of closing, have told us directly that it was a big, beautiful bill that has them raising rates, because
it's Trump's fault.
See a big drop in insured folks. A lot of people are dropping coverage because they don't have the tax credit they used to get, which sure helped a lot of people stay insured. And when you have more uninsured folks, costs go up for everybody else. So, yeah, we definitely can't point this one back to a president that hasn't been in office for quite a while.
But giving subsidies to make insurance affordable, I mean, that's not even realistic, because the insurance companies help write it, right? I mean, it worked.
It worked. Our uninsured rate dropped significantly, and that reduces costs for all of us.
And my premiums rose exponentially.
Going to the ER.
Yeah, well,
Anthony, jump in.
This is what Todd wants. Straight up getting after it. So he's happy about that. But I mean, absolutely, that anytime you're going to subsidize things, that the insurance coverage went down, but the people that are paying for it doubled. It went through the roof on what we're paying. And so, no, I'm not saying it's just one person's fault, but it's a compilation of multiple missteps over and over and over. In Oklahoma, we continue to get the bad end of it, because we've also got to elect a good insurance commissioner in a couple of weeks to make sure that we get someone that's not in bed with the insurance companies, where we're paying double the rates and half the returns as our neighbors in Arkansas and other states next to us. So it's incredibly frustrating, and it's really going to be a huge, huge hit to our state employees.
I'm glad you touched on the insurance commissioner.
I just realized the scope. I didn't even say. It's like 200,000 Oklahomans are covered by Health Choice, just for you to understand the scale of the issue,
Yeah. Well.
Which is what, 5%?
It's. You mentioned the insurance commissioner's race, too, and I'm really struggling with this one. And I get it that you need to have some experience in an industry that you're going to help regulate. But also, as bad as insurance is in the state, and don't even get me started on homeowners and stuff like that, but, the candidates are all insurance agents. Are they really going to have the public's best interest in mind, or the insurance companies that they work for? Talk us through, who to vote for in this race. I mean,
well, I'll tell you, one of those guys is been in the insurance industry for 40 years, has taken donations from all the big companies, and has shown a propensity to, won't even do a debate. And the other guy's name is Bob Sullivan, so that's who I'm voting for. It's pretty simple. I think that he'll actually do the job that's going to be required and actually hold these businesses accountable, instead of being one, in the good old boys club.
Senator Kurt, do you have a preference?
Well, I'm not going to weigh in on the primary, other than to say let's look at their records, because certainly Marty Quinn was the chair of insurance in the Senate, and you can see how well we've done on making reforms there. I mean, I'm all in for the Democrat in this race, and it's not a partisan thing. He is a former insurance auditor, so he gave up the insurance industry because he was so alarmed at how they were functioning. So he's very knowledgeable, and he's realistic about the insurance industry, but he understands where reform needs to happen, and he's not letting one thing about insurance is it's so complex. It's such a financial it's become a financial industry instead of being about the people. You have to have someone who understands the numbers. Our Constitution requires it. Actually, I'm not sure if those qualifications are in the Constitution or the statutes. That's a good question. But, you have to have someone who understands it enough to counteract and understand, not ruin our market. We can't have someone that's going to go out and scare off every insurance company. We need them here to create a solid market. But I think people really need to ask the hard questions. How are you going to help consumers? And if the whole fixation is on reducing lawsuits, that means reducing the options for customers to sue when their agreements aren't met. And I think that whole effort nationwide to tamp down lawsuits means less voice for the consumer. And it's not worked in Florida where they really pushed it.
And
let the lawyers work.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet the insurance companies are also in cahoots with law enforcement, putting up these flock cameras everywhere. Anthony, you think next session there's going to be legislation talking about privacy and what these flock cameras are capturing?
Well, it only took us 6 years to pass data privacy, so I'm sure that we're going to get flock cameras done in, real quick succession. It's been something that, a couple of legislators have brought up for the last several years, but I don't see it. I don't know. That's not a huge issue in Oklahoma. People like to hypothesize and speculate about that kind of stuff a lot, but, anytime, if it was your son that had been abducted and we could, identify the people taking him because of the camera on the turnpike, you'd be real excited about it. But, anytime it's, anybody else, it's a terrible, terrible thing. So I think it cuts both ways, but it has been in the news a little bit lately. So I'm sure it'll get brought up.
Senator Kurt, I'm just nervous about Big Brother watching me pick my nose going down the turnpike.
Yeah, I think people would be shocked how many cities are using these and how many thousands of constantly surveilled areas we have. My concern is, nationwide, it's something like a third of the hits are wrong. So you have a lot of identifying people who actually didn't do anything wrong. We have a lot of people using the data. You're hearing about people stalking their exes on it. We have to have systems for that. That's not just about one bad apple. That's about a whole system that's collecting information about us constantly. And it has to have better guardrails. We actually, my caucus helped fail a bill a couple of years ago about flock cameras, and they were saying it was about regulation, but it was actually going to expand the use and really didn't have any kind of guardrails in it that we need.
What the flock? All right, here we go. All right, little Rufus and Shaka Khan getting done before the 15-second timeline for copyright violations. So, Anthony, you were gone last week, so let's start with you. Tell me something good.
School's back, guys. That's obviously something good. I just got kisses and hugs from my big fourth grader. She's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Headed off, got her cat ears on this morning. I owe to be in fourth grade again, right? Just no cares in the world. Life's good. Her goal this year is to read 100 books, and she's already on number 2. So awesome. She's headed off, and then I've got an 8th grader and a sophomore, and I realized that as we drop those two off, that may be the last time I get to drop them off because big sister will be driving next year, and little brother's going to want to ride with her, not with me. So that was kind of sad. But I'm going to take the fourth grader's mine for a lot longer, and I'm going to keep taking her. So that's definitely something good. I'm just grateful that we live in Western Oklahoma, where we have phenomenal school systems with admin and teachers and staff that just love our kids and are so supportive. I've enjoyed, getting to meet the teachers, and got to go with Quinn to her enrollment stuff. And let me just tell you, we were gone on vacation, obviously, so she did hers the day before everybody else, and so we got to do ours with the principal at the high school, and it was just phenomenal. The way that they are handling things for these kids is next level, and I couldn't be more proud of them. Senator Kurt, tell me something great.
Back to school, I'm just so grateful to our educators. My daughter is in Oklahoma City Public Schools. She's a big sophomore, and I'm just excited because she's finding her path academically. She's really picking her classes, and it's been fun to watch her. She decided to take on an AP class this year in English, which this girl's got dyslexia. Like, we're just so proud that she's come far enough that she's willing to take on those challenges, and I give all that credit to the teachers who've helped her build that confidence. And I'm just so grateful to our system and how it welcomes people in. We were up there this week, and the counselors were still enrolling kids, so they're working hard to try to serve every kid.
My something good was after I let a rogue member of the audience grab the mic last night and make an endorsement during a forum. My something good is I'll never be asked to moderate a political forum again. So I get to stay in the studio where I belong.
I'm going to say, I'm going to make sure that if I have a forum again, it's going to be you. I'm going to say, I'm only coming to Todd County.
Right. Hey, once again, I always enjoy our chats. Senator Kurt, Representative Moore, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and let's do this again next week.
All right.
Next week.
All right, Crossfire is brought to you by ASAP General Stores and Loose Hills Roadhouse.